Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. In this video, we're going to talk about shame. That's a pretty difficult topic. So, I think a few days ago, I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling shame the way I used to. And yes, I'm not feeling shame the way I used to about just general, about my life and about my life choices and things like that. But it comes up. And what I realized is, well, this is the next level of shame, right? So that's been affecting me. So how does that shame pop up? And what can we do about it? How can we? What is the healthy way to overcome it? So there is one thing that I'd heard recently from Gaur Gopal Prabhu, and that was, and I had heard it before, but he just kind of put that nail into the head, and it made me realize just how important that is. And that is that thoughts and emotions are going to come to us. We do not have control over them. What we have control over is how we choose to respond to them. Now, it seems so obvious, but it's not obvious in the sense like when you start to apply it, then you start to really see the nuances of that. So, what happened this morning was I thought of somebody, and there was a thought that came to my head that this person should have done this and should the person did something good for me, but this thought came to my head, this person should have done this also, like, and then there was this instant moment of shame that I thought uncharitably about the person, even though the person has been doing and did so much good for me. I just immediately switched to, but this person should have also done that. And so that shame thought came into my head immediately. And luckily I caught it. I'm sure this happens a million times a day, every day, that I don't catch things like that. So, I mean, this is a process where you just start to become aware of your thoughts deeper and deeper. And it's a process. You're going to go deeper and deeper and deeper. But the more you start to become aware, then the more you're able to handle it. So what happened is, after this shame thought, then there was the next thought that happened, and that was that this thought appeared uncontrollably. I did not have control over it. This thought appeared because of all of my billions of lifetimes of accumulated karma that happened, or accumulated whatever, anarthas, I guess, or whatever, accumulated I don't know what name to use for it, but my conditioning, yeah, that's why this thought happened, and it's a conditioned thought, and it's arising from the mind. That the difference in the body is like the senses, mind, and intellect. The intellect is the one that created this thought, so that, like, okay, this is an uncontrolled thought, and I do not need to feel any shame for that. It's there because of conditioning, and I can't help it. But I do have a choice in how I respond to that thought. So I let that shame engulf me and make me feel like I'm some horrible monster that's always negative or whatever, or I say, no, this was a thought and this is okay. It is fine, and I'm not going to let this thought or the shame thought that came after this thought take over my life, or I mean, or whatever, even have the slightest bit of impact, because now I see it and I'm accepting it. And this is self-love and self-acceptance. So when you accept it, completely accept it, like, yes, okay, so I had this thought, that's fine, and I move on. And I had the shame, and that's fine, and I move on. So then it's easy to work with it, and it's easy to work past it. Now, some shame is not as easy to work past, because another shame thing that happened is that I had a lot of sugar yesterday, and I didn't want to have a lot of sugar, but I did. And that shame is there. It's still there in me because I had it last night, and I'm seeing the impact of it in the morning, and it's not good for me. And I'm like, I keep doing this. I do this all my life. I've been doing this. I just give in to my cravings. And so you see, Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 also talks about that Arjuna asks, like, what is it that impels us to do these things that we know are wrong for us, as if by force, even unwillingly? And he says it's because of desire and anger, but then he talks about desire. So desire is the root cause of it. And this is, and then Arjun says in chapter 6 that, these controlling the mind business is just too hard. I can't do it. Like, don't ask me to control the mind. It's too difficult. And then Bhagwan Sri Krishna says it is possible to control the mind. So it is possible with the proper training. It's like an elephant. An elephant is very strong, and the rider of the elephant trains the elephant. And so when the elephant wants to go off and do something, eat whatever it wants to eat, it will be able to. The rider has no control over the elephant if the elephant decides to do that, right? The elephant is way strong. So it's the same thing. Our senses are way stronger than our mind, and our mind cannot control it. It's not possible. The only way to control it is by training it, and that's okay. Wherever we are on our journey, that's okay. Our job is to continue to train it. The moment we give up training it because, oh, I've done it so many times, I've made this mistake a billion times, not just a billion times in this lifetime that we know of, but a billion times over my entire multiple lifetimes. If we just give up, like, I've done it so many times, nothing's happening, I can't do it, then what happens? You do not make any progress. But as long as you keep training yourself and understand, use your intellect to subdue the mind. So use your intellect not to subdue the mind, but to give up this shame, to get into a self-acceptance and self-love mode. Use the intellect to say, okay, the senses are extremely strong. I know that now. The senses are extremely strong, and the mind is not able to control the senses, just like the rider is not able to control the elephant if the elephant decides, because the elephant is way stronger, until we train the elephant. So we need to learn, first of all, the proper tools on how to train the senses. Just practice, discipline, whatever. Practice and vairagya, abhyas and vairagya, practice and renunciation. So we need to basically keep ourselves away from the things that attract us, and we need to keep just practicing. So that's it. We just need to keep practicing. That's the only thing we can do, is keep practicing and keep ourselves away as much as possible from the bad influences of life. And that's, we keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Forever we keep going, keep going, keep going. It's like that thing, right? Never ever 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 give up. That's what it is. You just keep going. Because that is the crux of it. Eventually we're going to, what choice do we have otherwise, right? We just keep staying stuck in this cycle of birth and death. We just keep staying stuck in this misery, and we don't want to. We want to eventually be able to get there, and as long as we're trying, we're going to be getting there. So yeah, so that's the way to work through shame. Use your intellect to say, okay, yes, this happened. Okay, yes, the senses are out of control. My senses are clearly out of control, totally out of control. When I see sugar, they're totally out of control, and that's okay. The shame is only going to make it worse. It's not going to help in any way, shape, or form. The understanding that, yes, I do need to do something about it, absolutely, yes. That is the crucial thing. That is what we need to do. Okay, that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next video. Wish you a day filled with personal and spiritual growth. Radhe Radhe.